What if there was a specific moment, an actual milestone when you could stop working for money? Because your money started working for you. Okay, that's the breakthrough concept introduced in segment 1 of chapter 9 of Your Money or Your Life. It's called the crossover point, and it represents one of the most important financial goals you can aim for. Okay, the moment your investment income equals or exceeds your monthly expenses. Okay, at that point, you've achieved financial independence, and with it, freedom of time, energy, and choice. Let's break down what the crossover point really is, how it works, and why it matters. What is the crossover point? The crossover point is the moment when your passive income meets your expenses. In other words, it's when the money you've saved and invested generates enough monthly income to fully support your lifestyle without needing a job to fill the gap. Imagine 2 lines on a graph. Line 1, your monthly expenses. Line 2, your monthly investment income. At first, the expense line is above the investment income line. You work to make up the difference. But over time, as you reduce expenses and build up income-generating assets, those lines move. Eventually, they intersect. That's your crossover point. Why the crossover point matters? This concept changes the game because it gives you a clear, trackable goal for financial independence, a visual roadmap for watching your progress over time, a sense of control. You realize that with consistent action, can eventually stop working for money. It also redefines wealth. Instead of being about a certain net worth or salary, okay, wealth becomes about how long your money can support you without you working for it. How to calculate your crossover point. To start working toward your crossover point, you'll need to calculate 2 key numbers. 1, your monthly expenses. This includes everything: rent or mortgage, food, transportation, insurance, subscriptions, entertainment, etc. The more accurately you track your spending, the clearer this number becomes. Importantly, the lower your expenses, the sooner you'll reach your crossover point. 2, your monthly investment income. This is the money generated by your investment's interest, dividends, real estate income, royalties, etc. It's not your salary or active business income. This is the money your money earns for you on, the number you want to grow over time. When your investment income equals your monthly expenses, you've reached the crossover point. Visualizing your progress, your money or your life encourages readers to plot both numbers on a monthly chart. Over time, you can watch the gap narrow and eventually disappear. This visual reminder is powerful. It turns abstract financial goals into something tangible. You can literally see yourself getting closer to freedom with every month of mindful spending and strategic saving. The 2 levers: spend less, invest more. The beauty of the crossover point is that it gives you 2 ways to accelerate your progress. Spend less. Lowering your monthly expenses means you need less passive income to cross over. This is where frugality and conscious spending become superpowers. Invest more, increasing the amount of money you set aside. Investing it wisely boosts your passive income. Over time, compound interest starts working in your favor. What happens after you cross over? Reaching your crossover point doesn't mean you have to quit your job, but it does mean you no longer have to work for money. That gives you incredible flexibility. Work part-time or seasonally, volunteer or start passion projects, travel or take sabbaticals, shift into lower-paying work that aligns with your values. It's not retirement in the traditional sense. It's freedom to live on your terms. Final thought, your life on the other side, the crossover point, isn't just a number on a graph. It's the line between working out of necessity and working out of choice. It's where your money starts buying back your time. It's where freedom begins. It's the best part. You don't need $1 million windfall to get there. With conscious spending, steady investing, and clarity around what enough looks like for you, the crossover point is achievable and worth aiming for. You've started to spend mindfully. You've clarified what enough looks like for your life, and you've even begun reducing expenses and investing with intention. But now comes a big question. How do I know if I'm getting closer to financial independence? That's exactly what segment 2 of chapter 9 in Your Money or Your Life is all about: tracking your progress toward fee in a way that is visual, simple, and motivating. This part of the journey is where everything starts to come together. It's where your numbers tell a story, and that story is your personal roadmap to freedom. What is financial independence exactly? Okay, let's quickly recap. Financial independence is the point where your investment income can fully cover your living expenses. In other words, you no longer have to work for money because your money is working for you. You've reached the crossover point, okay? And now the goal is to stay on track, to watch those lines move closer and eventually cross. That's where tracking comes in. The power of a financial independence. Chart Your Money or Your Life recommends creating a simple graph called the Financial Independence Chart that shows 2 key data points each month: total monthly expenses, total monthly investment income. Plot both of these over time, okay? And you'll begin to see your progress visually. Over months and years, the gap between these 2 lines should narrow. Eventually, they'll be tanned. When they do, you've hit your crossover point. Why visual tracking works: this isn't just about numbers. It's about motivation, momentum, and mindfulness. Here's why the chart is so powerful. It keeps you focused on your goal of fee. It makes invisible progress visible. It reinforces good habits like saving, investing, and conscious spending. It helps you spot trends, plateaus, and breakthroughs. It gives you a sense of control. Even when income or expenses fluctuate, this chart becomes your personal financial dashboard. It's like watching your freedom grow, one data point at a time. How to create your fee chart. You don't need fancy tools. A basic spreadsheet, a graphic notebook, or even a free charting app can work. Each month, track your total take-home income, your total monthly expenses, your investment income. Then plot 2 lines, one for monthly expenses, one for monthly investment income. You can also optionally include total net worth, passive income growth savings rate, updated every month. And over time, you'll begin to see your trajectory clearly. What you'll notice over time: after a few months, tracking becomes more than a habit, it becomes a mirror. You'll begin to notice seasons of growth, spending spikes, how your investment income creeps up. Slowly but surely, the power of consistency over flashy gains. Some months might feel stagnant, but the act of tracking keeps you engaged. It reminds you that every smart choice adds up. Celebrate the small wins. The journey to financial independence is long, but it's also full of many milestones. Paying off a debt, reaching a certain savings percentage, getting your investment income to cover one monthly bill, shrinking the gap between expenses and passive income. Tracking your progress allows you to celebrate those wins, okay? And those small wins fuel big momentum, okay? Don't chase perfection, chase progress. You might be tempted to obsess over exact numbers or perfect forecasts. Don't. The point of tracking isn't perfection, it's awareness and alignment. It's about making sure your choices move you in the direction of freedom, not away from it. Even if your lines bounce around, as long as the trend is moving toward your crossover point, you're on the right track. Final thought. Progress is power. Segment 2 reminds us that progress is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet and incremental, but when you track it, you realize it's happening. The financial independence chart turns an abstract idea into a clear visual path, and that clarity, it fuels action. It keeps you grounded, and it brings you closer to the life you want, one conscious step at a time. Because the truth is, you're not just managing money, you're building freedom. If there's one idea in personal finance that feels like magic but is completely real, it is this: your money can earn more money even while you sleep. That's the focus of segment 3 in chapter 9 of Your Money or Your Life: Investment Income, and how it unlocks the door to financial independence and long-term freedom. In earlier chapters, the book helps you reduce expenses, track your real earnings, and find your crossover point. Now it shifts focus to the engine that keeps everything running, the money your money makes. What is investment income? Investment income is the money your savings and investments generate without you trading your time for it. It comes from things like interest from savings accounts or bonds, dividends from stocks or mutual funds, rental income from real estate, capital gains from selling appreciating assets, royalties or business income from intellectual property or automated sources. This is what the book calls passive income. It's the opposite of a paycheck. You don't earn it by clocking in. You earn it by putting your money in motion. Why it matters. The shift from labor to leverage. Most people earn money through labor working hours in exchange for income. But labor has limits, okay? You only have so much time, energy, and availability. It's not scalable, okay? And the more you depend on it, the more vulnerable you are to burnout, layoffs, or life changes, okay? Investment income, on the other hand, is a form of leverage. When you save and invest wisely, your assets start earning for you even when you're not actively working. As your investment income grows, you start relying less on your job and more on your capital. That's the pathway to financial independence. The crossover point we visited earlier in Chapter 9. You learn about the crossover point, the moment when your investment income equals your monthly expenses. Segment 3 focuses on building toward and beyond that point. Your job now becomes keep your expenses low, save, and invest consistently. Watch as your investment income line rises on your monthly tracking chart. Eventually, the investment income curve overtakes your expense curve, and from that moment on, you're free to work because you want to, not because you have to. Investment income brings flexibility. One of the most underrated benefits of investment income is life flexibility. You might not be retired in the traditional sense, but with even a modest stream of passive income, you gain the freedom to reduce your hours, the ability to take sabbaticals or extended time off a cushion during career transitions or family seasons. It's the power to say no to toxic work situations. This flexibility is what your money or your life is all about, okay? You're not just saving for the sake of saving, you're buying options, time, and peace of mind, compounding the superpower behind investment income. One of the reasons investment income is so powerful is because of compound growth. When your returns earn returns and those returns continue to grow, you create a snowball effect that accelerates your wealth over time. This means a few $100s invested early can grow into thousands the longer you stay consistent. The faster your income grows. Patience and consistency matter more than trying to time the market. Compound interest doesn't just grow your money, it multiplies your freedom. It's not about picking stocks. One of the myths that your money or your life busts is the idea that you need to be a financial expert to build investment income. You don't need to trade stocks or obsess over the market. You just need to spend less than you earn, invest the surplus regularly, track your progress, and stay consistent. That's it. No get-rich-quick gimmicks. Just steady, value-based investing that aligns with your goals. Final thought. Let your money work as hard as you do. Segment 3 is a mindset shift. It's where you stop seeing money as something you have to earn and start seeing it as something that can earn for you. Your job now is to build the habits that grow investment income. Protect your money by aligning spending with values. Celebrate each step closer to your crossover point. Because when your investment income covers your needs, your life stops being about survival and starts being about choice. And that's the ultimate return. So you've done it too. Reached financial independence. The crossover point is behind you, and your investments now cover your living expenses. No more clocking in for a paycheck just to survive. It's a milestone that many only dream of, and when it finally arrives, something surprising happens. You realize that money still plays a role in your life. It just has a new purpose. That's what this segment explores. Now that you, Dan T, need to earn more money, what is money for? Before FI, Money was about survival and security for most of our lives. Money is a necessity, okay? It pays the bills, buys groceries, covers rent or the mortgage, and funds our savings goals. We work hard, often trading time, energy, and passion just to earn enough to feel safe, secure, or ahead of the curve. In this phase, money's purpose is clear: security, survival, stability. Everything we earn serves an immediate need or a future safety net. But once we cross into FI1, our investments generate enough income to meet those needs. Money's role begins to shift. After F, money becomes a tool, not a lifeline post-fee. Money is no longer the thing keeping you afloat. Instead, it becomes a tool for self-expression, stewardship, and alignment. You're free to decide how to use money in ways that are meaningful to you, not your boss, not society, and not your past fears. So what is money for now? To amplify your values by giving generously, investing in causes, or supporting local communities to enhance your quality of life through travel, learning, or passion projects to create freedom for others, helping loved ones, mentoring, or funding educational opportunities to support a slower, simpler life without guilt, urgency, or the pressure to optimize every dollar. Money is now a mirror, not a measure before fee. Money is often a measuring stick. How much you earn, save, or spend can feel like a reflection of your worth or success. After fee, that mindset dissolves, a new one emerges. Money is a mirror. It reflects who you are and what matters to you. You no longer need to strive, accumulate, or win at finance. Now, you get to choose how your money reflects your values through spending, giving, or simply letting it sit untouched as a symbol of peace. This new relationship can feel liberating, but also disorienting. The identity shift. Letting go of the hustle. Many people who reach fee experience an identity shakeup. Through years of chasing career goals, raises, or side hustles, the question becomes, who am I without the need to earn? This is one of the most subtle but powerful parts of the post-fee transition. It's not just about financial freedoms, about emotional and psychological freedom too. You may find yourself letting go of productivity as your primary value. It's redefining what success and purpose mean, exploring how to use time without pressure or guilt, reconnecting with joy, creativity, cool and stillness, and that's where money becomes a means of expression, not just a means to an end. From accumulation to allocation, this segment also challenges the natural instinct to keep accumulating wealth out of habit. Even after reaching fee, it's easy to stay in build mode, growing your net worth just because you can. But your money or your life asks you to pause and reflect. Are you still accumulating out of fear, habit, or ego? A task. What is your enough now that your needs are covered? Could your money be doing more good in the world or bringing more peace if it were spent, shared, or slowed down? You don't stop being responsible. But now, you're free to shift from building wealth to allocating it with purpose. The new questions to ask after fee. You're not asking, how much should I save? How can I make more? What's my net worth goal? Instead, you're asking, what do I want my money to mean? Okay, help or uplift? What legacy, emotional, or financial do I want to leave? These questions are deeper, more personal, and more fulfilling. They're the gateway to a life of alignment, peace, and purpose. Final thought. Money after fee is not the end, it's a new beginning reaching financial. It's independence. Docility means you redone thinking about money. It means you get to think about it differently. It's no longer about survival. It's about stewardship. It's no longer about pressure. It's about possibility. And most of all, it's no longer about earning. It's about living fully, giving freely, and spending consciously in a way that reflects the life you've worked so hard to build.